Welcome to Jack Talk. I'm your host, Savannah Fields. We have a great show for you today. We'll be talking to the assistant coach, members of the SFA men's basketball team, and SFA's Lumberjack mascot on their experiences this season. Don't go anywhere. All that and more coming up on Jack Talk. Today we have assistant coach of the SFA's men's basketball team, Mike Boyden, here with us today. It's great to have you on the show.
Thank you.
Well, now I know you got your undergraduate in African American Studies at South Carolina. How does one get into coaching?
Well, obviously, it's not a degree requirement per se in terms of major, but I've always had a passion for coaching. Played the game of basketball from the time I was 4 years old. When I used to go to the recreation center in Brooklyn, New York with my dad, and then kind of always wanted to learn more about it. And as I played all the way through college, I always had a niche to try to get into coaching. Had that opportunity when I graduated, went to be a graduate assistant first, and then continued my career from there.
That's cool. So I know that you assisted Coach Underwood back at South Carolina. How was making that transition from, well, with him at South Carolina to here at SFA?
Well, it wasn't much of a transition in terms of our jobs. Our jobs are pretty much the same no matter where we are. The biggest adjustment is getting to know your players and the area itself. But it was a transition that was made easier by the people we were able to deal with here at SFA. I got a tremendous group of players to work with and a great support base here in Nacogdoches.
Okay, and how has the coaching staff been since you arrived at SFA?
Well, we all were new here, but Coach Underwood and myself both have some familiarity with each other from being in South Carolina. And a couple other guys on our staff also had a good relationship with Coach Underwood as well. So we were able to get along pretty well, which obviously led to our players being able to embrace us a little bit more. Okay, and compared to looking at the team last season, how have they changed to this season? Like, what are the improvements that they've made? I'm not really sure I could speak on last season since we weren't here, but obviously we were very aware that they had a very successful year. And the big key was them being able to embrace our philosophies in terms of offensive basketball to make it as easy a transition as possible. And credit to the guys that they were able to do that pretty quickly. But we're very, very pleased with what we were able to accomplish this season and put SFA's name out there in a positive way.
That's good. And being that it is your first season as, assisting Coach Underwood here at SFA, how was it like going to the NCAA tournament, especially when this is our second time in school history going and our first time actually making it to the third round? How was that?
It was unbelievable. It was something that we really, really worked hard for every day. Something that as coaches we're very happy that our players were able to accomplish because the truth be told, we don't just show up and play games. A lot of times people think that the end product is all that happens, but a lot of work goes into that, whether it be in the weight room or off the field and conditioning-wise and things of that nature. So a lot of credit goes to our players for being committed to that goal and then finding a way to accomplish it throughout the season.
Okay, and how did you guys prepare for this season?
We did a lot of conditioning starting last summer with the guys who were returning and some of the new guys who were able to get on campus for summer school last year. So the process started way back in June. And it's a process that was an everyday deal pretty much for the last 8 months or so to get us to the point where we're able to really shine on the national stage.
Okay, and the progress of the players, how has their progress been from just regular games to the NCAA tournament?
Well, that's one of the most unique parts about our team this year is there wasn't a whole lot of difference from playing our first game to playing our last, to be honest. We prepared the same way, in terms of and how we prepare for opponents. Our guys brought the same level of intensity to practice, although sometimes they may have not wanted to. Our head coach is a great leader and really, really pulled the best out of them every day. But again, all the credit goes to them for being able to perform on a nightly basis and putting us in position to have the success that we had.
Okay, and the pep rally, the coming back from the tournament, how was that? Was that important to the team that the school had a pep rally?
Well, it was awesome to have had it. That's for sure. Just for the players to see that they were appreciated by the fans here, for them to be able to see that they've got a great support staff here. The students in the community really have embraced this team as their own, and so to see that many people show up for us to come back, specifically after losing the game the way we did against a really good UCLA team, but for them to understand that we still made history this year. We still were able to put the school in a very, very positive light on a national level. It was very, very gratifying.
And how does it feel to have the school behind the team?
It's the ultimate. It's what you work for. It's to try to get some name recognition for your school, but also to know that people appreciate that. Throughout the university and within the community. I think even throughout the state of Texas, our name really, really has a positive vibe right now. And even places, that you probably don't think of. Obviously we played out in California for a weekend, so there are people out in California that know what SFA is about now. So it's awesome.
So that the 32-3 season, what has been the most memorable moment this season?
I'm not sure I could pinpoint one because it was so much fun throughout. We went on a 29-game win streak, which was third
awesome.
Most in the country behind Florida and Wichita State this year. So every game, there was thrilling moments like the buzzer-beating dunk against Northwestern State, Desmond in the NCAA tournament hitting the three to tie the game and hit the free throw to send us in overtime. But there were other games. We're down 3 with 0.2 seconds against Marshall and wound up sending that game in overtime. We had some battles with Sam Houston and throughout the year. So there have been a lot of moments that I would highlight.
And where could the team go from here? I mean, the bar is set really high now, especially with the 32-3. Next season, where could they go?
Well, I mean, I don't know if you ever set a number on your team because you almost limit yourself in terms of what your expectations are. But we have made it known to the guys who are returning that the bar here has been raised. And it's on them to work hard to at least meet those expectations, if not exceed them next year from the outside. And we know that they're personally motivated to continue to win ways here at SFA.
Well, I wish you guys the best of luck next season. I'm glad you came to the show. It was a great interview. Coming up next, we have coming up next, we'll talk with members of the men's basketball team about their NCAA tournament experience. All right here on Jack Talk. Stay tuned.